Many parents were willing to allow their children to work in these new textile factories because they needed the extra money for their farm life. However, more workers were needed. To overcome the labor shortage, factory owners had to find other ways of obtaining workers. One solution to the problem was to obtain children from orphanages and workhouses. Children were sometimes hit with a strap to make them work faster. In some factories, children were dipped headfirst into the water cistern if they were drowsy. Children were also punished for arriving late for work, for talking to other children. Apprentices who ran away from the factory were in danger of being sent to prison. Children who were considered potential runaways were placed in irons. There were also a common punishment called waiting. It was when the supervisor would tie weights to the child's neck and make them walk around for everyone to see. This resulted in severe back pains. Children who were sick were also put into specific parts of the factory, isolated from other workers. They were given more harsher tasks to do. Triangle Waste Company was in many ways a typical sweat factory in the heart of Manhattan. Low wages, excessive long hours, and unsanitary and dangerous working conditions were the hallmarks of sweatshops. Near closing time on Saturday afternoon, March 25, 1911, a fire broke out on the top floors of the Ash Building and the Triangle Waste Company. Within minutes, the quiet spring afternoon erupted into madness, a terrifying moment in time, disrupting forever the lives of young workers. By the time the fire was over, 146 of the 500 employees had died. During the Industrial Revolution, workers worked long hours, grueling hours, and performed dangerous mechanical tasks. If they were injured, it was considered their fault for being careless. Factory supervisors often physically or verbally disciplined workers. Children were required to work just as hard as anyone else, working 12 to 16 hours a day, although factory wages were ridiculously low for all workers, and even less for women and children. Now American labor unions, as well as federal, state, and local laws, have prevented these horrible conditions from taking place. Today, if a factory worker got injured, they would be able to sue the company and receive monetary compensation for the injuries if they win the case. If someone is not performing up to standards of the company, the factory has the right to dismiss them, but not physically or verbally abuse them. Conditions of the factories themselves have greatly improved. New regulations have been put on the machines themselves that help guarantee the safety of those who use them. Factories are inspected to ensure that there are no health hazards for the workers and that the building itself is sanitary. The regulation, among others, make it clear that safety and well-being of the workers come before the profit of the company.